Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Business Talks. I am your host, Chawanne Burns. In today's episode, we are going to discuss Kamala Harris, of course, because it is approximately, 20 days before the election? And I encourage everyone, if you can vote early, do that. Do that. Vote early if you can, because we already know it's going to be some stuff in the game. Okay. We're going to talk about Kamala Harris. It seems like she is on a media blitz, if that's what we could call it. But the people that she is launching out to, I guess, campaign for her is actually causing more harm than good. Example, Bill Clinton. Bill Clinton had a debacle performance. Okay, I don't know. He's past his heyday. They need to call somebody actually younger than Kamala Harris, to rally these people to actually vote for her. So they pull out Kamala Harris. I mean, not Kamala Harris, but Bill Clinton. He's not doing a good job. We saw the debacle, what happened when she pulled out Obama. And he criticized and actually insulted black men. And then you had Sonny Hostin on The View yesterday calling black men crazy. Okay, Sonny Hostin, we reject that remark towards our black men. Our black men are not crazy. They are strong people. Just because they don't vote for who you say they should vote for, that doesn't make them crazy. That makes them, hey, in a sound mind, they are able to pick and choose who they want to be president. Okay. They are leaders in our community. Okay. That's the black men I know. I don't know what type of black men you guys know. You might not like black men, but I love my black men. Okay. So if you don't like black men, this is not the show for you. This is not the show for you if you don't love black men on this platform, because that's what we do. We love our black men. Our black men that represents our community, our black men that take care of our family, our black men that take care of our community. Our black man is that stick up where people are saying, oh, you shouldn't do that. Oh, you shouldn't speak up. No, that's the people that we represent, the real black men, the toxic masculinity black men. That's the black men we love on this show. Okay, so if you're one of those people that don't like the toxic masculinity, I'm sorry, stage left, exit stage left. Okay, so Sonny Hostin and the Sonny Hostin supporters, I'm sorry I'm going off on this rant, but Sonny Hostin supporters, you need to exit stage left, because this show right here, we love the black men that are truly black men. Okay. I went off on a rant. I went off on a rant because it really boils my blood when I hear other black women shaming black men because they decided, oh, I want to think not on the monolithic, and you're not going to tell me what the hell to do. Okay. So shut up, woman. Just shut up. Shut up and be quiet. Okay. Sit down. Sit down. Just because you got a microphone, that don't mean you got to tell a black man what to do. Okay. My next point, we talked about the Haitian community. We talked about the Haitian community, and I know Haitian people. I dated a Haitian before, and I think there is a disconnect of the Haitians that already been over here, that's been Americanized, versus the Haitians that's just coming over here. Okay. ABL, if you guys don't know him, he probably has about 1 million subscribers on YouTube. Anthony Bryant Logan, I believe he's based out in Texas. He found the video, and these Haitians talking about whether or not if they eat cat and dog. And they were speaking in French. They're Creole. I don't know if it's called Creole in Haitian, but it's French, some form of French. Okay, so we're going to discuss that video, and we're going to uncover some things. They're making in front of Ohio, Springfield, Ohio residents, saying, oh, it's all a lie. They're not doing this. So we're going to find out if these rumors, if they're eating cats and dogs, are true. Okay, so you guys stay tuned for another episode of Business Talks.
Something like this. Looks a little bit like I can't miss. Hey, this is what you call a bad. What? This is what you call a bad. Something like this. Looks a little bit like I can't miss. Hey, this is what you call a bad. What? This is what you call a bad.
You guys put in the chat, let me know where you're viewing from. I see we have Celeste Hodges in the building. It's always great to see you. Celeste Hodges is saying hello from Texas. If you get a chance, go listen to Gabe. I believe you're saying Piero. He has more info on the walls and that his wife was with him at the concerts. Also, Next News talked about it and the victim is going to talk. Yes, and I found another channel. Actually mainly on X, and he revealed another victim. Okay, so yeah, we're gonna follow up with this wall story and get into it. Hopefully the victims will come out and speak out. I'm afraid that since Walls is pretty much up there, I mean, if you're a governor, you could pretty much silence anyone if you're at that realm of political power, but hopefully their stories will not be silenced if these alleged assaults are true. Okay, so hopefully the word will get out about these victims. Carrington is in the building, tuning in from Waycross, Georgia. Thank you for tuning in. Tyrone Price, Chawanne Burns, thank you for another great show. Thank you for tuning in. Justin Thompson, hello everyone. Hope all are having a good day. Carrington also is saying, unpopular opinion, right, man? I missed it this morning. Actually, you didn't, Carrington. We only show or stream Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Actually, I'm going to put a post out today. This Friday, we're going to do an evening show because scheduling conflicts. So we can't do our morning show this Friday. So we'll be doing a Friday evening. And that time is to be determined. Okay, so but tomorrow is our regular scheduled time at 9:30 a.m. on Chawanne Burns 2.0 Unpopular Opinion Podcast. Jerome Black, what up, though? From Detroit proper. Thank you for tuning in. Justin Thompson, please don't eat cats. Please don't eat cats. Carrollton, Georgia officially starts their early voting and vote red, please. Noble Young is in the building. Jerome Black is saying, always looking good, Chawanne. Thank you. I really appreciate you. Nurse Petty, good afternoon, Mrs. Burns in the chat. Thank you for tuning in, Nurse Petty. Carrington is also saying, shout out to Mayor Michael Angelo James, the mayor of Waycross, the black man that's strong and passionate about the city of Waycross. Well, shout out to him. It's always great to see strong black leaders in our community. It's always good to see strong black men. It's always good to see strong men in our community. Someone that's not liberalized by, hey, you need to, you're showing too much strength. You're doing toxic masculinity things. No, I'm just being a man. Okay, I'm just being a man. That's not toxic masculinity because I'm just being a man. Okay. Justin Thompson saying Bill Clinton basically said if they didn't screw up the border, then they would be illegal immigrants killing the U.S. citizen. I know it is wild. I got the video clip, so I'm gonna play it. This Bill Clinton clip was wild. I think, like I said, I think Kamala Harris is really, her campaign is, unraveling at the seams, but we'll take a look at it. Carrington is, she's saying Haitian French is definitely Creole, okay? And Nurse Petty, Thornton Township, Illinois, is always great to see you. And Carrington Hollister, how much victims does Walls got? How many victims? I'm not for sure, but according to this email that I read yesterday, it's about 3 out there. I think it's probably more if he was over the football team, So, only time will tell. I'm pretty sure some more people will come out if they do come out. And we have to vet what we're hearing out there. Okay. So I know I've seen some news trying to discredit the story already. I have seen some news reports trying to discredit the Tim Walz sexual allegations already. So I'm pretty sure, since it was so long ago, the victims, if they're trying to seek some type of justice, they're facing some type of uphill battle with that. Okay. So let's get to our first story of the hour. You guys, if you want to support the channel, you can always cash at me on at SugBoss on, what is that? Cash App? I say cash app me on SugBoss Cash App. That's crazy. Why would I say that? But that's what I'm saying. Cash at me. Or you can always super chat this channel. It is greatly appreciative. Okay. Our first story of the hour, I do want to get to talk about Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris' campaign is unraveling at the seams. And it is because Kamala Harris, she really, I don't think she is really in touch with the people. Okay. She's not in touch with the people. And I think that's why she's having a hard time reaching the people, reaching those voters that may support her. But since she's having a hard time because she's so fake, let's get that out there. Kamala Harris is such a fake person. And since she's such a fake person and she's basically a chameleon, she really doesn't know who her main audience is. I think one audience she does know, or two audience. We could say the LGBTQ community is her audience, and the feminists. The feminists love Kamala Harris because they're going to support her no matter what, because they're probably a one policy voter, which I'm not knocking them. Hey, if abortion or what you call reproductive health is important to you, okay, vote for Kamala Harris if that's the way you are going. I do want to point out that I don't think you should be a one voter or policy person, because not only reproductive health does not pay the bills. Economy, the value of your dollar is important too. Okay, if you are an American or American citizen and we are actually funding wars, that affects you as well. So I implore everyone, hey, I'm just a one policy voter. Maybe you want to look at some other policies that you might want to support on the particular candidate that you think is the person that you're supporting, if that makes any sense. Okay. This is I don't want to play that one. Bill Clinton went out on the campaign trail and he basically said, hey, if Joe Biden and Kamala Harris would have patrolled the border or effectively implement border policies and not basically demolish the border, you probably would have not have Laken Riley's death. Okay, Laken Riley, if you guys don't remember, that's the young lady that was killed by an illegal immigrant, okay, an illegal alien, okay? And this is what Bill Clinton had to say.
You had a case in Georgia not very long ago, didn't you? They made an ad.
You guys make sure you put in the chat. I want to make sure you could hear this video.
About a young woman who'd been killed by an immigrant. Yeah, well, if they'd all been properly vetted, that probably wouldn't have happened. But if they're all properly vetted, and that doesn't happen, and America is not having enough babies to keep our populations up, so we need immigrants that have been vetted to do work, there wouldn't be a problem. And he couldn't keep people all torn up and upset. You had a case in Georgia not very long.
What Bill Clinton talking about? Bill Clinton, are you for Kamala or against Kamala? I'm confused. Somebody tell me. Bill Clinton is worse off than your boy Joe Biden. I don't know what the hell is Bill Clinton talking about right now. Somebody tell me. Somebody tell me, what the hell is Bill Clinton talking about? What is Bill Clinton talking about? Get noticed with Nikki sound like Bill Clinton been hitting the ganja on the blunt end. Blunt size ganja. He been smoking the tuka. Natasha Holiday, me too. I'm confused. Garrison said, haha, it sounds like he needs his dementia pills. I don't understand. Let me play the audio again. Maybe I missed the point. Hey, Bill Clinton, somebody need to phone in to Bill Clinton. Bill Clinton, we're promoting Kamala Harris. He should have said something about, well, you know what Kamala Harris always talking about. Well, you know, Trump called his buddies in the Senate and told them to not pass the bipartisan comprehensive border bill. That's what he should have said. But instead, he said he told the truth. He told the truth about the border.
Long ago, didn't you? They made an ad about a young woman who'd been killed by an immigrant. Yeah, well, if they'd all been properly vetted, that probably wouldn't have happened. But if they're all properly vetted, and that doesn't happen, and America is not having enough babies to keep our populations up, so we need immigrants that have been vetted to do work, there wouldn't be a problem. And he couldn't keep people all torn up and upset. You had a case.
I gotta go back. He said y'all ain't having enough babies, so he's anti-abortion. Number one, anti-abortion. And then he said reason why we got, you know, if they wasn't properly vetted, we wouldn't have this problem now. Then he's anti-immigration. You know, believe it or not, I found the old video of Nancy Pelosi. Nancy Pelosi was talking about being strong on the borders because this was the Democrat way about 15, 20 years ago. Now, all of a sudden, we just want open borders. We want an open border policy. Okay? Democrats used to be strong on borders. According to that Nancy Pelosi video I saw. Don't know what happened to the Democrats. But he sounds like he's a Trump supporter. Bill Clinton is a MAGA, okay? According to this speech. We could say, according to this speech, Bill Clinton is a MAGA supporter, okay? There was a longer video. I just want to see what the hell was he talking about. Is this it? No.
She's the only candidate who has actually endorsed a bill that would hold down immigration in any given year to a certain point, and then make sure we gave people a decent place to live. We didn't divide people from their children. And we did total vetting before people got in. Now, Trump killed the bill. The bill was being written by senior Republicans in the Senate, and he killed the bill. Why? You had a case in Georgia not very long ago, didn't you? They made an ad about a young woman who'd been killed by an immigrant. Yeah, well, if they'd all been properly vetted, that probably wouldn't have happened. But if they're all properly vetted, and that doesn't happen, and America is not having enough babies to keep our populations up, so we need immigrants that have been vetted to do work.
Okay, so they cut it off. So he did say, you know how they cut out the sign about. He did say Trump killed the bill. But I totally agree. If you're campaigning for Harrison Walls, you literally should have said that. But the end of the speech, I don't know where he was going with that. I would like to see where he was going with that, but I thought it was hilarious. Hilarious how they cut the speech off. But anyway, so I think Bill Clinton, I still think even that little snippet, he's doing more harm than good to his campaign, because now you're saying, okay, we want immigrants to have babies because we need people working out on the fields. That sounds kind of crazy. I'm not for sure about that. It sounds like that southern Dixie Democrat that you need some more field people out there. You need some more field workers. I'm assuming that's what it sounds like. Anyway, so like I said, Bill Clinton was out on the campaign trail, I guess, trying to help Kamala Harris. I believe is doing more harm than good. And then this other post came out with CNN. You know, this is Erin. What is the lady's name? I forget what her name is. Erin Burnett. Okay, out front from CNN. Okay, so she is she's actually talking about CNN or Kamala Harris' record as a prosecutor. Okay.
A prosecutor?
Tonight, Vice President Harris touting her record as a prosecutor, trying to make her case on one of the biggest issues of this election.
I have prosecuted transnational criminal organizations for the trafficking of guns, drugs, and human beings. I have had a career, including now, of prioritizing that we must have a secure border.
It comes, though, as CNN has an investigation which reveals a mixed record in Harris's home state of California, and Kyung Law is out front.
That's our choice. A prosecutor or a felon.
From political ads to the campaign trail, Vice President Kamala Harris and her supporters say her career makes her uniquely prepared to take on Donald Trump.
I started my career as a prosecutor.
I can't wait to see her prosecute the case against Donald Trump.
Prosecute the case.
Prosecute the case.
She was a prosecutor.
That record as a prosecutor began in the San Francisco area. Two California families say that history and the
you guys put in the chat, I want to make sure you are hearing this audio okay.
Impact on their lives deserves scrutiny as she runs for president. One of Harris's first major controversies happened just months after she was elected San Francisco district attorney. In 2004, police officer Isaac Espinoza was gunned down by a gang member.
There you go.
Just 29, he was a young father and devoted husband to Renata Espinoza, who had to identify his body in the hospital.
I remember I walked into this room and he still had blood here. He was laying there with his eyes closed and I saw the blood here. And I walked over to him and I was just like, wake up.
Harris publicly announced she would not seek the death penalty against Espinosa's killer, keeping a campaign promise despite furious political pressure.
Life without possibility of parole is a severe consequence.
But a decade later, as California's Attorney General, Harris defended capital punishment. When a judge found the state's death penalty to be unconstitutional, Harris and her team called the decision fundamentally misguided in a court briefing. Officer Espinosa's widow spoke to CNN in 2019, calling it a reversal driven by politics.
Are you going to be for the people? Are you going to be for yourself? Are you really being you?
Should we be talking about some of this flip-flopping?
I think it's fair to talk about flip-flopping. I think that's what makes America great.
Brendan Woods is Alameda County's first black chief public defender. On the other side of the bay, Harris was San Francisco's first female district attorney. Their history-making careers rose together.
When she ran for district attorney of San Francisco, her policies were that of the city of San Francisco. All of her policies when she was the attorney general were much more restrictive, much more right.
As California's attorney general, Harris promoted enforcement of a law that allowed prosecutors to seek jail time for parents of truant kids.
If you fail to take responsibility for your kids, we are going to make sure that you face the full force and consequences of the law.
I thought that was crazy. I was like, how can you lock parents up?
I opened the door and I see at least 7 or 8 cops, full gear, like wanted to arrest me. As a matter of fact, they did.
That was May 2011. The Hatians woke to law enforcement at their door. And you're handcuffed this whole time?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like a criminal. I have my pajamas on, like those paper-thin pajamas. And that's what I went to jail in.
Their son, Connor, was in middle school then.
I used to be allergic to a lot of things.
You missed 12 days of school.
Yeah, but not consecutively.
It's not like the kids don't like school. They do. But they couldn't breathe.
Arrested under the new state truant.
Just imagine living in a toxic place as Los Angeles or San Francisco, where they do have a bloom. It's been studied quite frequently. Their environmental regulations, that's why they have more strict environmental regulations in California. And you're saying my child can't breathe and he has these asthmatic conditions and, other allergies, and you're missing school. And they said, oh, you're going against our truancy policy and you have doctor's excuses and all that stuff. We gotta send you to jail. Just like the story I covered over Cherie Peoples. I don't know if you remember that, the black lady, her child had sickle cell anemia. The school was very well aware of the child's condition. She missed several days of schools because her child conditions, and they arrested her. They put the child parent, Miss Cherie Peoples, behind bars.
Law, the Hatians, who had no prior criminal history, were spotlighted in local news outlets. The electronic trail still haunts them to this day.
Impacted every aspect of my life, everything.
Harris acknowledged the problems with that truancy law she once championed when she ran for president in 2019.
In some jurisdictions, DAs have criminalized the parents.
Right.
And I regret that has happened, and that the thought that anything that I did could have led to that, because that certainly was not the intention, never was the intention.
Yeah. I don't think you can consider that an unintended consequence because she created the law.
Harris's prosecutorial history is long and complicated for those lives who've been touched by it. And it should all be reviewed and weighed, says Woods.
I think people can evolve, and I think that's what she's done.
Kyung, it's interesting hearing all of that and all those examples. But Harris seizing on her experience as a prosecutor, decade plus, as a credential to handle immigration. Of course, obviously, despite being the vice president in the Biden administration, are voters buying that?
Well, if you look at her career, she does have a long public.
No, they're not buying it. I'm just going to answer that for you. She has a long history of prosecuting people, particularly black men, women. You could see this lady. She had a husband. She prosecuted anybody, and if it made her look good, so she could advance her career, and on the backs of innocent people, you guys. Remember the guy that I forget what the young man's name was. He was convicted on death row. Okay, on death row, he was convicted of killing somebody, and he did not kill them. And the Supreme Court had to step in saying, hey, you need to turn over this evidence, because even the prosecutor that prosecuted him came back and said, no, we mishandled this case. We have evidence that this guy did not do this. Kamala Harris, being the DA at the time, she did not want to release this guy's evidence. He was sitting on death row, and the Supreme Court had to step in to release the guy. He ultimately sued the state and I think he was awarded like $3 to $5 million. Okay, so on the backs of innocent people, she loves to ride the coattail or on the backs of innocent people. However, she doesn't prosecute the people that actually are doing wrong, i.e. an example of those 1,300 people that they had to dismiss the case, these drug cases. And she's touting that she's been a prosecutor of transnational drug people. You dismissed 1,300 cases because you had a dirty person in your office, either doing the drugs or selling the drugs. 1,300 cases. You threw them out. You had to throw them out. Because you avoided, they warned her about it, saying, hey, this is happening in your office. Instead of doing anything, she sat on her hands. So she had to throw 1,300 cases out. Possibly those people are bringing in fentanyl now to our country. Drug smugglers. And selling it on the street. So Kamala is not about getting the bad guy. She's about advancing her career. She is all for self. So I just answered that question for her. Okay. If you guys want to listen to it more, just go to CNN, Aaron Burnett, and you can find it. I think they just post a podcast there, so you can find that that in there, for this particular podcast and on her page. Anyway, Kamala Harris also gave her interview with Roland Martin. And if you saw the beginning of CNN's video, that was some of the footage from Roland Martin's interview. Okay. Of course, she's going to do a stint with Roland Martin. Roland Martin's, he had, remember I posted a video, or I had a YouTube thumbnail saying, hey, vote like a black woman. Well, we're not, and I'm not saying we are not black women. I'm just saying, black women, okay, we make a certain percentage of the population, but everybody's not going to vote like a black woman. Are you saying vote like a black woman because Kamala Harris is supposed to be a black woman? But she's not. You guys put in the chat, do you think Kamala Harris is a black woman? She's not. She's not a black woman. So number one, what the hell are you talking about, Roland Martin? You supposed to be a man, Rolanda. You supposed to be a man, so why would you say that? Why wouldn't you say vote like a black man? But no, you had a shirt saying vote like a black woman because you wanted to reference Kamala Harris. And I'm sorry, black women, majority of us, we are voting for Kamala Harris. I think she got 70% of the vote. Some of you guys are waking up. 70% of the black women's vote is way down than other, elections. But we tend to vote overwhelmingly Democrat. And vote like a black woman, that's just a slap in our face if you're saying vote like the black woman, because you're saying black women don't use their brains. Anyway, I went off on a rant. This is Roland Martin, of course, being all smitten because VP Harris is talking to him. Don't know what he's about to ask her. okay, because I never viewed this video. But I could only imagine. Remember, we showed Roland Martin with Tiffany Henyard, and he gave her all softball questions. And Tiffany Henyard was just the mayor of Dalton. What do you think he's going to do with the vice president of the United States? He's not going to give her any pushback. I'm just making an assumption. But here it is. This is Roland Martin.
And usually the clip, I'm not going to sit here and say I'm going to do anything specifically for African Americans. But folk don't talk about what you said right before when you said that public policy that benefits black folks, it benefits everybody else.
Right.
Even when we look at historically, Civil Rights Act, Voting Rights Act, it actually didn't just impact the African Americans, it impacted everyone else. But talk about that, because so many people have only clipped that one part without understanding the public policy implications.
That's too bad. That's too bad. I'm sorry to hear that. Right. So you know that, I mean, going back even before, but Dr. King was very clear, right? If you have certain policies that recognize, one, that not everybody starts out on the same base. If you have public policy, and I'm talking about economic public policy specifically at this point, but if you have public policy that recognizes historical barriers, and what we need to do then to overcome, first speak truth about them and then overcome them, that in the process of doing that, not only are you directly dealing with the injustices and the legal and procedural barriers that have been focused on black folks, but by eliminating those barriers, everyone actually benefits, right? And I know that to be true. So my policies include what I know is going to have a profound impact on black folks around economic policy, but everyone will benefit from them. I intend to create as president what I have named an opportunity economy that taps into the ambitions and the aspirations and the dreams of the American people, and then addresses those in a...
Why did you say that again? Like, what the hell? Hopefully you guys heard that. You heard that. VP Harris has no statement on birth certificate that she's black only Indian in Jamaica. The nerve. Just that alone are enough the grounds to bar her from being the president of the United States. Note, she's not black. She's mostly raised in Canada. He likes man. Did you guys hear that? Did you guys hear that what your boy Rolanda asked her? I guess, this is a famous clip. They always play. Matter of fact, I think I have a short video on this particular clip. She is asked, what policies are you specifically trying to put forth for black people? And she said, I'm not going to do nothing just specifically for black people. You know, because I'm the president of all people. I'm not knocking her for saying that. But, Roland Martin comes back and say, hey, they are always doing this. This is famous clip. They're always saying that you're not going to do nothing specifically for black people, but you're saying, and it's for all people. Can you please explain or expound where you was coming from at that moment? And she started off good because she was saying different words. Then she went back to, I believe in the dreams and the aspirations and the ambitions of the American people. I'm laughing keep from crying, you guys. I have to laugh. I have to laugh because I can't believe people are actually still voting for this lady. They're like, oh, Kamala, she's the great. How do you feel? How do you feel about Kamala? Do you feel like, no, F your feelings. F your feelings, facts over feelings, okay? What are you talking about how we feel? We're going to the gas station and they're saying almost $4 at the pump. We're going to the grocery store and you could only get 2 bags of groceries for almost $100 without any meat. Everything, have y'all noticed, every jar costs $8 in the grocery store. It doesn't matter what jar it is. If it's a big jar, of peanut butter, a jar of tomato sauce, a jar of jelly, it's $8 for the damn jar. It don't matter what it is. So we don't care how we feel, and we don't care about the dreams and the aspirations of the American people. Our dream is to pay our bills. Our dream is to take care of our people. Our dream is to, hey, not pay $20 for a pack of family chicken wings. Come on, Kamala. Yesterday, I was really upset. Today, I'm not going to get upset as I was yesterday. I promise you guys, if you tuned in for my live yesterday, I was on one. I was mad as hell, but I'm not gonna, the devil ain't going to ram my back today. I ain't going to let the devil get my joy. The devil would not steal my joy today. Kamala would not steal my joy today. Okay, we're going to keep on pushing forward.
A way that recognizes, unlike my opponent who was handed $400 million on a silver platter and then filed bankruptcy.
Didn't we just hear this shit yesterday? Oh, she was on the shame room. Just like my opponent. We know Donald Trump got $400 million. We know he was rich. But still, he has more relatability than you. This is sad. Come on, Kamala. Do what? Throw another punchline. Let's get some originality in your punchline. She needs to fire. She needs to fire all her campaign managers. They're doing a horrible job. If I was Kamala, girl, I would be like, bitch, you better not say nothing about no dreams and aspirations again. Excuse my language, but this is how I would talk to if she was my friend. Listen, if you're out there and campaigning for Kamala, tell her stop using those words. Stop bringing up, oh, Donald Trump I'm a different appointment because I wasn't handed $400 million. But your ancestors came from plantation slave owners. You traveled out of the country every freaking year. Who does that? You guys put it a 1 in the chat. If you grew up middle class, and you traveled out of the country every freaking year. We grow and see my kids and us are growing up middle class right now. We haven't spent one day out of the country. I never took my kids out of the country. It's a different time than now, but I don't think going out of the country is like, we lucky if we get to go to, on a nice vacation because it's so expensive. But put a 1 in the chat. You grew up middle class and you went out of the country every year. Put a 0 in the chat if you went down south to see your grandma. Put a 2 in the chat if you went if you're from Chicago, you went to the sand dunes. You went to Indiana. That was your vacation. Your vacation, remember vacation used to be your what is it called? When people get together and your family reunion. See, I haven't been in the family reunion in a while. Put a 2 in the chat. Your vacation was your family reunion if you had one every year. Come on now. Kamala Harris is talking about dreams and aspirations. Anthony is saying, LOL, Chawanne, you making me laugh and laughing at her saying and feelings. Right. Celeste said, I haven't had a vacation in 3 years. This is how the economy is affecting us. We're counting our dollars, okay? We damn near lucky to go to summer waves or wild adventures. Hell, even Melbourne, Florida. Exactly. Natasha, they don't like me. They don't like me. 2. Keratin said 2. Joseph Young Jr. And when I was working in the U.S. Army, went to Cairo in Egypt. Exactly. K-Mac 0. K-Mac said 0. I'm not a 1, 2, or 3. I'm a 0. This is Kamala for you. She grew up middle class, and then she bring up Trump. He wasn't, unlike her opponent, she wasn't handled $400 million. Okay, Kamala.
6 times. Not everyone has access to those kinds of resources, but when you give people access to those resources, they thrive and we all benefit. Opportunity economy. That's why I say I'm going to make sure that we give first-time home buyers a $25,000 down payment assistance. Because again, we know that when you look at the history of how Black folks have been denied the opportunity for home ownership, be it redlining or what we know has still been happening around a bias in home appraisals, that it is a barrier to achieving intergenerational success. But when we address it by doing things like helping folks get their foot in the door with a down payment assistance, they will have the ability to be on that track of intergenerational wealth building.
Actually, $25,000 assistance to, majority of people. It will affect the majority of people. Will only cause the prices of houses to increase. Okay, you are only going to inflate the housing market. That's basically what you're doing. So if a price of a house costs $300,000, they're going to go up to $325,000. Kamala, they said Kamala has a degree in economics. You think somebody would have told her that? This is a bad idea. And who's going to pay the $25,000? Is that coming out of taxpayers' money? Just like the crazy plan that Joe Biden has. Remember Joe Biden? We don't talk about that plan. Joe Biden puts, he has in effect now, if you're able to put more than 20% down and you make over a certain amount, you're going to get taxed when you purchase a home. And it's going to, and it's a percentage tax. It's going to show up in your mortgage payment. Nobody ever talks about that, but that's still in effect. Is she planning to reverse that? So people got a way around that. When me and my husband was talking about investing in a property in Florida, like an Airbnb, and the guy said, just don't put more than 20% down. And when you come back around, just save that money. And when your payment comes in effect, just put whatever down payment you wanted to, put it on the equity of the house. So anyway.
My plan for extending and expanding the child tax credit, $6,000 for the first year of a child's life. Because our parents, just like any parent, have a natural desire to parent their children well, but not always the resources to do that. So $6,000 in the first year of your child's life helps you buy that car seat or crib or the clothes that are necessary to build the foundation for that important phase of their development that gets them on the right track.
I do want to do the housing piece because what I think is not being talked about, the building of new housing stock.
Yes.
And so because of the home foreclosure crisis, we literally built under 9 or 10 million homes in 2020. And we're underbuilt now as well. The fewest homes being built since the 1940s.
I don't know why the audio is messing up on this thing, but I'm not going to go through this whole interview because we see Kamala Harris is, they're saying the same thing. He's asking the questions in a different way per se, but we're talking about policy, and they're not asking, okay, how are you expecting to implement the policies? What are really your plans? Okay, you're saying that you're planning to fund or give first-time baby heifers $6,000 credit. Okay, how are you going to implement that? Okay, you're going to give them a credit on their taxes, but where is that money coming from? Are you planning to go up on taxes where the people that don't have babies or are past their childbearing baby having years? Are you planning to tax more to the single people? Where is that tax coming from? Because we have to get real. If the government is planning to give someone something, that means they're planning to tax someone something. Okay? That money is not going to come out the sky. And remember the old saying, what do you think the money grows on trees? It doesn't grow on trees. Okay? It grows out of increasing your taxes. So anyway, not going to go through that. But I do want to highlight, okay, after, Kamala Harris done her whole interview. Now, this is just a compilation of Scott Jennings giving CNN hell. He's giving CNN hell. Because Kamala Harris, she's calling out Donald Trump for, I guess, to submit a mental acuity test. Okay. This is the person that hid Joe Biden's mental acuity from the American people. The whole Democrat Party. We could say the whole Democrat Party hid Joe Biden's mental acuity, kept on saying, oh, he's sharp. He's no fresher than the fly. I don't know. They were saying those type of words. And they were saying it over and over again. They said the lie over and over again. They actually believed them themselves until the debate between Donald Trump and Joe Biden, where it revealed, hey, maybe Joe Biden's mental acuity is not all there. To us, they already knew it wasn't all there. But to us, they knew his mental acuity wasn't there. So he's going to give them a hard time.
If I were Harris, I wouldn't be leaning too heavily into who's hiding what kind of medical conditions.
You guys let me know if you could hear this audio.
If I were Harris, I wouldn't be leaning too heavily into who's hiding what kind of medical conditions of people who are or want to be the president, given her role in lying about the condition of Joe Biden for the last 4 years. That's number one. Number two, I don't think this works for her. I think I'm back in the same bucket I was earlier. You're not selling your own candidacy. You're punching Donald Trump in the same way every other Democrat we've ever heard from for the last 8-9 years has punched this guy. That's not the problem with your campaign. We've heard all the attacks on Trump. If she cannot sell her own candidacy any better than just punching on him, for her, if I were in her camp, I just don't know it's going to be enough. That's my view.
Smart for the Kamala Harris campaign to continue to remind people
Honestly, just to be lectured by Democrats about you have to have mental acuity to be the president of the United States after what we just lived through for the last 4 years.
Scott,
Come
you love
on,
that talking
don't
point.
lecture me about mental acuity in the presidency.
Point.
But when Democrats, who all, you included, who all assured us that Joe Biden was riding unicycles and juggling knives in the Oval Office, when we know that wasn't true, and Harris was the chief cheerleader for that whole, the lectures about the mental acuity, come on.
Contract. that was famous. Joe Biden was riding unicycles. I just want to play that again.
For what we just lived through for the last 4 years,
Scott,
come
you love
on,
that talking
don't lecture me about mental acuity in the presidency.
point.
But when Democrats, who all, you included, who all assured us that Joe Biden was riding unicycles and juggling knives in the Oval Office, when we know that wasn't true, and Harris was the chief cheerleader for that whole, the lectures about the mental acuity, come on.
She had to laugh because, look, she can't deny the truth. You guys went on this campaign blitz saying, oh, Joe Biden is as fresh as a young teenager. He's just as sharp and just as tech. Remember Joe Scarborough and the guy from Joe Morning Show? They were all saying the same thing, that Joe Biden was fresh. Okay, so now Kamala Harris is trying to call out, I guess, Donald Trump to present his mental acuity test. Okay, I just want Kamala Harris to do a breathalyzer test. Let's see if you're drunk or not. Kamala Harris, do a breathalyzer test. Because half of the time it sounds like you be hitting the bottle hard. I'm going to get to some of your comments. Half of the time it sounds like Kamala Harris be hitting the bottle. This is Kamala Harris. Again, somebody put a compilation together to just display how scripted she is, even on her campaign rallies. Now, campaign rallies are supposed to be raw, fun. Talk about, some of the points. Smash your opponent, saying I'm different than Joe Biden. What is his name? Donald Trump. Yeah, this is me. And the great talking points to say, hey, Donald Trump, he was born with a silver spoon in his mouth. Stuff like that. These are things that you could do. But it's heavily scripted. And you should go off script, I think. But Kamala Harris, she can't do that. This is just to show how scripted she is.
And when we fight, we win. And are we ready to fight for it? And when we fight, we win.
One does not have to abandon their faith or deeply held beliefs to agree the government shouldn't be telling her what to do. One does not have to abandon their faith or deeply held beliefs to agree the government should not be telling her what to do. What I call an opportunity economy, so that every American has an opportunity to own a home, to build wealth, and to start a business. So every American has the opportunity to own a home, to build wealth, to start a small business.
And when we fight, we win. And are we ready to fight for it?
I don't know what to say at this point. I just don't know what to say. I don't know what to say about Kamala. When we fight, we win. Okay, Kamala. This absolutely is insane to me. It's insane to me that you can't even go off script. You have to say the same talking points over and over again. Keratin says she sounds like him off the Powerpuff Girls. I used to love the Powerpuff Girls. Rosalie is saying Kamala is from a wealthy family on both her mother and her father's side. Plus her father's side were wealthy slave traders. Nobody talks about it. Yes. Kamala is from slave traders, okay? She owes us reparations. All you reparationists out there, you need to ask Kamala Harris when she gonna start paying her reparations bill. It's from her family. She's part of that slave trade only a few generations ago. And she's still benefiting from it. Or she's benefiting from it still today, okay? Yesterday, I think it was Celeste, somebody in the chat saying, who knows what kind of middle class person has a nanny? Nobody has a nanny if you're middle class. Like, I didn't have a nanny. Anyway, Sonny Hostin, I want to get on Sonny Hostin before I start talking about my next topic. Sonny Hostin calls black men who vote for Trump ridiculous, crazy. Black men. Yeah, because insulting black men for, now this is Cartier family. That's from their post. It says, yeah, because insulting black men for their choices is definitely the way to change their mind. Okay. This is Sonny Hostin.
But, you know, we can't poll people's hearts and we can't see into people's hearts. And so when we're looking at these polls and we're looking at who is voting for Trump, you've got 53% of white women that voted for him in 2020. We've got to reach those women. We've got to reach those ridiculous, crazy black men that did vote for Trump. We've got to reach those people. We've got to reach the Cuban men in Miami that overwhelmingly voted for Trump. I don't know what their hearts look like, but I know what their votes
But I'm
look
not
like.
talking, just, you know, I'm not speaking to people's hearts, and I am sunshine and rainbows, but I'm not Pollyanna in this world. What I'm speaking to is when you resonate with someone's heart, and Kamala has a good heart. Alyssa and I were speaking after she was here, and one thing Alyssa finished with is, regardless of how someone answers the questions or how they perform or how they navigate it, her empathy resonates. She is a good person at the end of the day. So what I'm saying is I do trust the good in humanity in how they vote. When you look at stop putting on black and white policy and paper, like what does this stand?
This is where she's wrong. I forget what her name is. Well, let's go back to what Sonny Hostin says.
But, you know, we can't poll.
Sonny Hostin, she called black men ridiculous. She called out white women, the 53%. She called out the Cuban men and I guess some other demographics. But when she called out black men, she said, "You guys are ridiculous." Black men in the chat, are you ridiculous? Put it in the chat. Have you heard that word reference to crazy and ridiculous? Not just ridiculous. You're crazy and ridiculous. When referencing black men, I think that's a dangerous talking point. Black men are already villainized because they're black men. And so you're doing more villainization, Sonny, and you're supposed to be a black woman. Shame on you. So just because black men decide, hey, this is not what I want for my family, okay? Just because they don't agree with you, that does not make them wrong, Sonny. Okay, so that I want to point out. Then the next thing I want to point out, I forget what this lady name is. Kamala has a good heart. That's where you're wrong. Most men, if they're men, they don't give a shit about your heart. They want to see if it makes dollars, it makes them sense. Does it make sense to them? Not only dollar-wise, but does it make sense? Remember, I mentioned facts over feelings. I think that's a red pill talking point. But if you're talking about men, generally, they want to know the facts. Okay, how is this very pragmatic? How would this affect me? If I choose this decision, how would this affect me in the long run? Most men think like that. They don't care about how they feel. Oh, I love you. They not marrying Kamala. They not trying to court Kamala. They not trying to marry her. They not trying to get no booty from her. They want to know, will they be able to take care of their family? And if they don't have a family, will they still have a job? Will they be able to pay for the nice car that they have, if they have a nice car, or afford the luxury things, or even date somebody? You can't date nobody if you don't got no damn money. Come on now. Let's be real. They don't give a damn about how joyful Kamala makes them feel. Matter of fact, if their pockets are not right, there's no joy, and men are at the inkling to violence. This is why women, period, shouldn't be speaking for men. I'm speaking for men because I got the mic, but this is literally why we shouldn't speak for men, because you don't know what the hell a man is thinking about. We don't know. I just know I could just say some because of, my dealings with like my husband, my dad, my brothers, of how I see what they will say to me. And, so I'm just projecting that just out of observation. But truly, I don't know. I can't speak for a man. But if we want to think about it logically, men don't give a shit about a damn feeling. They don't care. They do not care about how Kamala makes them feel warm and fuzzy on the inside, because they're not trying to smash Kamala. They're not trying to date Kamala. They're not trying to have a baby by Kamala. They don't even like Kamala. They probably don't even like Trump, but they gonna vote on the policies that's gonna benefit them and their families. This is why you guys got it wrong. That's why you're missing the mark, because you keep on saying joy and shit. They don't give a shit about that. Nobody feels joy if they're being laid off. They just laid off 1,500 people from GM. And probably 90% of those people were men. Maybe 30%. I'd say 70-30. Okay? Were men. Because these were people, labor skilled trade people that was on the line at GM because they discontinuing the model. So they laying off all those people. They ask them if they have any joy. Okay? Any joy in that they discontinued the model of their vehicle. And this probably was a gas-fired vehicle. I'm going to play this clip again.
Can't poll people's hearts, and we can't see into people's hearts. And so when we're looking at these polls and we're looking at who is voting for Trump, you've got 53% of white women that voted for him in 2020. We've got to reach those women. We've got to reach those ridiculous, crazy black men that did vote for Trump. We've got to reach those people. We've got to reach the Cuban men in Miami that overwhelmingly voted for Trump. I don't know what their hearts look like, but I know what their votes look like.
But I'm not talking, I'm not speaking to people's hearts, and I am sunshine and rainbows, I'm not Pollyanna in this world. What I'm speaking to is when you resonate with someone's heart, and Kamala has a good heart. Alyssa and I were speaking after she was here, and one thing Alyssa finished with is, regardless of how someone answers the questions or how they perform or how they navigate it, her empathy resonates. She is a good person at the end of the day. So what I'm saying is I do trust the good in humanity in how.
They're not trying to vote on Mother Teresa. they need somebody tough and strong. You guys know North Korea just bombed South Korea early this morning. Did you guys hear that? Xi Jinping doesn't give a damn about your humanity. And if you feel empathy in your heart, he just bombed a road. So they're not able to use this road anymore. Who gives a damn about that? Now, you need to be empathy and, per se. But you still need to be strong, tough, and keep your feelings aside when you're talking to potential threats to the United States, i.e. the border. Okay? Potential threats to the United States, i.e. giving all our money to Ukraine. Potential threats to the United States. Giving up $6 billion to Iran to fund the Israel and Hamas conflict. Because we know Iran funds most of these terrorist groups. They fund most of these terrorist groups, Hezbollah and Hamas. The funding is coming from Iran. And we just handed over them a big fat ass check and took off some sanctions and let some people go. And they're in their parliament chanting death to Israel, death to America. Okay? We need people that's going to be strong, not people that you're going to let other people walk all over us. If they're our allies, they need to heed to our demands if we're funding them. Example, the Prime Minister of Israel. If we're trying to negotiate ceasefire and you still funding them money, hey, how to nip that in the bud? Stop funding them money. But you continue to let people walk right all over us because they look as America as a joke. And we're saying, oh, we're empathizing with them. And Kamala, she makes us feel warm and fuzzy inside. Actually, Kamala doesn't. She makes me feel cringy inside as a woman. But as a man, men don't give a damn. Men don't give a damn. Anyway, I'm off of that one. Okay? You guys let me know what you think about Kamala Harris in the chat. And if you're a man, tell me if you don't give a damn, or if you do feel warm and fuzzy inside. You want to feel joy when you go to the polls. And I'm pretty sure if you're going to the polls and you're unemployed, you're not going to feel any type of joy. Okay? You're unemployed. Like, what joy comes out of that? Nobody feels good about that. Anyway, moving on to the next story. Now, you guys might you might be offended by this story, but don't shoot the messenger. I was kind of making a joke of it about it before, but I just want to dispel rumors. Okay, I don't want people to say, oh, remember the Republicans started this rumor and Donald Trump was saying, hey, in Springfield, Ohio, they're eating the cats and the dogs. Remember that? And everybody, on mainstream media was saying, yeah, he's lying. Look how he's being racist. Remember, Trump was being racist because he said they out and about eating the cats and dogs. They eating the cats and the dogs. But come to find out, it might be true. According to this, Anthony Brian Logan. You guys, if you don't follow Anthony Brian Logan, he is on YouTube. He posts mostly political content. Sometimes it's local or national news. Okay. So he found the video, and it's called Real Haitians Tell the Truth About the Cats and the Dog Claims. Okay. These are Haitians, and he's this individual with the C hat on, and he's going to ask this individual, which is his cousin, whether or not Haitians actually eats cats and dogs. Now, I could say prior to Haitians that's coming over here now, I don't think that was the norm. Maybe it changed between 2000 and now, or maybe not. Maybe only in some areas. But I'm going to let you guys be the judge of that. As this interview progresses, he's gonna reveal that, hey, this is a normal thing for some people.
We'll go to the corresponding article on the website, but without further ado, let's go ahead and roll it.
Mitchell, is it true that Haitians eat?
You guys put in the chat. I want to make sure you can hear this video.
Cats in Haiti. I'm gonna ask him in Creole now. Est-ce que c'est vrai que Haïtiens mangent chat Haïti?
Non, c'est pour chat là. C'est une vérité normale, nous mangeons chat. Mais chien, bon par contre si gars c'est faut manger chien, mais chat là.
Now, I can speak a little bit of French, so I understand exactly what he's saying. Basically, he said it's normal. But we're going to get to the translation in a minute.
Okay, let me translate for you. When it comes to eating cats, that's a very normal thing, he said. He says, when it comes to dogs, not really. There's not too many Haitians who have ever done anything like that. He's never seen it. But when it comes to cats, that's a very common practice in Haiti. This is his words. Okay. Tell us some more about this, Mitchell. Qui sont qu'a dit nous en ajouter sur ça des situations où nous manger chat ça?
Non, pas aucune. Sans vérité, nous manger chat comme si nous pas obligé fâcher comme si l'on dit haïtien manger chat. Nous manger chat comme si c'est pratique naturelle li. Et gen côté Haïti, yo vend chat même pour moun manger, gen côté Haïti soit aller ou besoin chat là pour manger, a vendre normal, yo garder chat, mettre dans cage. Ou alors faire pour acheter chat tout normal. C'est comme si on côté acheter pour le manger pour Haïti, chat ça veut dire.
Wow. He said, okay. He said when it comes to eating cats in Haiti, that's a very normal practice among Haitians. For people to say that's not happening, that's a lie. He says even there are places in Haiti where you can go and you can go to a store and actually buy the cats. You can just like you buy chicken wings. It's a very normal practice in Haiti. So, and again,
let's just pause right here. Now, certain parts of the world, they have their own practices.
Yeah, Anthony is right. Certain parts of the world have their own practices. And I'm not going to knock their practices to say, oh, you know, this is such a bad thing. No, it's just not normal to us. Now, is it disgusting to us? Yeah, of course, because we got Mr. Furries climbing up we build like a jungle gym, and Mr. Furries has his own room in our house. Yeah, you know, I know you've seen one of those cat videos where they build a jungle gym for the cat and they put carpet around these boards and stuff, and so the cat could jump around, and the cat is actually dinner for them. Like, God. It's not normal to us, but it is normal to them. And going back to what this man is saying, hey, you could walk up to a meat market and order a cat. Just like in China, in some parts of China, they eat dog. You could walk up to the counter and you could order a dog. They up there frying puppies and shit. Now, this goes back to, should we allow people in our country that's not used to our norms and customs? And if we have not actually not only vetted, but kind of get them acclimated to our customs, should they be over here? And I'm not saying don't let the Haitians over here. I think it should be a process before they get over here. Hey, do you know you cannot eat cats and dogs here? Okay, it's against the law. But if you just let them over there here and you didn't tell them, they going around and eating cats and dogs. Well, they don't eat dogs. They go around and eat cats.
He's saying that the cat eating in Haiti is normal. You can go to the store and buy cats. I don't know if they live, dead, whatever. You could buy them from the store, or a chicken farm or a hog farm. It's like that with the dogs over in China. But in Haiti, their thing is the cats. But, and look, third world country, extreme poverty. If you're starving, you're like literally about to die of starvation, and here goes a whole family of cats. It's time for dinner. It's time for dinner.
And you guys remember the Book of Eli with Denzel Washington? Remember that movie? And part of the movie, actually it was the beginning of the movie, Denzel Washington, he actually killed a cat. He killed the cat and ate it, okay? He filleted it and ate it. And then the irony of that is once he killed the cat, mice came around or mouse came around because he was hungry. And Denzel gave him a piece of the cat.
Something to add, you can also add it to it as well. So kibo Haiti, mun ka ale ala chien akat. I'm gonna say sound like where in Haiti can you go and buy cats and stuff like that to eat? Kibo Haiti ka fe sa?
Non bon, si moun vle la, n'importe moun de bois haïtien ou bien tout n'importe moun soit haïtien regarder vidéo a dit moun wal nan Kafou, commune Kafou.
Commune Kafou?
Commune Kafou. Kafou en général, les bois Kafou en général avant joindre Delimat.
So you go to the Cafu, probably like a store, like a cafe. You go to the Deli Mart, and they just got the cat meat or live cats. They got them in there. You could just eat that, and it's fine.
Exactement. en face marché qui dans toi. Yo vend chat la normal, yo vend tout bête la pour manger.
You say you can go to Haiti, 2000 kafou avant zikini, go on store dans zone. So he's saying you can go to Haiti. There are different states and different places in Haiti where you can just go and buy it and purchase that, right? So my question now is, for what reasons are Haitians denying this? Pour qui raison penser Haïtiens pas vle dire que bagay ça son bagay qui normal?
Non, bon, même j'aime ça là. J'ai l'impression comme si Haïtien pas d'accord le fait que vous dites cher, mais manger chat là, c'est pas qui normal, c'est vérité lié. Comme si ma prend pourcentage Haïtien manger chat en général, bon mettre 70% Haïtien manger chat.
Wait.
Yeah, même moi tout le monde manger chat.
Okay, he said.
I think as a Haitian community, we need to start holding ourselves accountable. You know what I'm saying? Like, if we're doing something that's not right, let's just say it's not right.
And what he's saying is 100% correct. It's like, look, ain't no point in just sitting here lying, trying to beat around the bush. If that's what people do, not everybody, not all Haitians obviously going to eat cats, but some do. It is what it is. Like, why lie about that? I think it's a point of embarrassment for some people, especially in...
Yeah, it is a point of embarrassment because if you really think about it, you're kind of demonizing this. You're like, ew, you're eating cats. Like, oh my God, they ate my cat. Of course, you're going to deny it because you're saying, okay, I could potentially get arrested. I could potentially get deported. So, you know, this guy over here, that's his brother, the guy who's interviewing the cousin. They've been over here in the States and they're like, oh, just admit it. No, well, it's kind of, I could see why a Haitian and other Haitians don't want to admit these things is because we already said, oh my God, they're eating our cats. They're eating our dogs, you know, so, I could see why they would deny it. Now, on the other hand, it's like, okay, we need to have a strong talk with not only the Haitian community, but the federal government caused this. You caused this problem that you let people over here that wasn't accustomed to our ways and our norms and our laws without vetting them. This is totally the government's fault. I don't think it's the Haitian people fault because they're just thinking like, oh, I'm over here and I need food. I could save my money to do such and such of this with. Hey, there's a cat right there. I could just kill this cat and eat off the cat, whether, you know, save my money and stretch my money out to rather than going to the grocery store. So it doesn't make sense. Like, if I was a Haitian and I'm potentially over here, I'm already over here illegally, I would not admit that. I definitely wouldn't. And if I was in the I guess the political community, I wouldn't admit it. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I would be totally dishonest. Like, what the fuck you think this is? Excuse my language. Oh, you saying all Haitians eat cats, huh? You trying to be racist? This is what happens. I would totally deny it. So I would be the guilty one that's denying it to the end. But we could see that this was not communicated and letting people over here. They just thought, okay, we're going to place these people in unknown land and they're going to fend for themselves. And I think it was unfair to these people. And you're going to just give them a bunch of money. And they're like, hey, we lived off of less. We don't need all this money. We could just live off the land.
In the USA, where you can't just go eat cats. You can't just take somebody's pet and throw it on the grill. You can't really do that. But when you're in a different country, there's different practices. Over there, it's not really a big deal. Over here, it is. Just like eating dogs with the whole China thing.
Anthony Bryan, Anthony Bryan, he said it's not really a big deal. No, they sell them at the grocery store. What do you mean not a big deal? That's normal. It's normal for them to eat it.
They may do that in certain parts of China. I'm not saying all Chinese are going to eat dogs, but we know it does happen over there. But you can't do that here. And that's part of the problem with the migrant crisis, whether they be Haitian, Venezuelan, European, whatever they are. They need to come with a culture that is compatible with us if they're going to keep doing the same thing they've been doing. But what they should do overall is just adapt to us. Hey, let's learn how to drive, guys.
And exactly, this is what I'm saying. You can't just plop a group of people in a foreign land and say, oh, you're free. No, they need to be accustomed. Now, you say that this person needs to learn the Constitution. They have to learn the Constitution to gain citizenship. There's other things they need to learn. You know, they can't just gain citizenship. I was listening to a video. Matter of fact, I'll probably play that video in a few minutes. This young lady was saying that, you know, migrants or immigrants should totally not vote for Kamala Harris, and because she was an immigrant, and the things that she had to go through just to get over here. She had to learn how to drive. She had to have good credit. They vetted her extensively. It took her 8 months just for her to say, for the United States government to say, oh yeah, you and your family could come over here. But there were certain things that or criterias that had to be met. And not only that, they had to make sure that they were acclimated to American culture, like knowing their laws. That's very important. Hey, you know, we eat at we use forks and knives. And not saying that you can't use your hands, but we just don't go off and kill animals because these animals might be protected. We protect animals here. In Haiti, they might not do that. In other countries, they might not do that. Hey, if it got 4 legs, it's fair game. We kill it in other countries, but not here. So we have to make sure. Now, there's nothing wrong with coming over here, but number one, they got to be legal. And then the government needs to do their part. You can't just let everybody over here and they're not acclimated. And I'm not saying Haitians shouldn't be over here. I'm just saying there's a pathway to the citizenship or to the U.S. And maybe Haiti's pathway is a certain way, besides the Constitution, having good credit and no crime on your record. There's some other things that they need to be acclimated versus if they're coming from China or Europe, some type of Ukraine or some other Africa, some other countries or continents. Africa is a continent. So anyway, what I'm getting at is you can't just let anybody over here and saying, oh, it's for humanity, and then you cause harm to other people like you're doing now. You're right now you're wreaking havoc on the citizens of the United States because you want this open border policy and you're not vetting anybody. You're just letting them over here and vetting them later.
This AI tool will take your idea and create a complete book, complete with design, images.
And unfortunately, a lot.
Hey, have you ever eaten cats in Haiti? And let's see what his answer is.
Haitians have an issue. We have an issue of telling the truth. We don't like the truth, and unfortunately, a lot of what you are hearing on the news, they want to make it seem like that's not happening. But here goes a Haitian, right? And he's telling you this is a common practice. He says over 70% of Haitians. He just came from Haiti, and he's telling you there are places where you can go and buy it like chicken wings. And he says over 70% of Haitians eats dogs and cats. Well, he says as
Not
far as
dogs.
the dogs,
Yeah.
he says that's not really a common practice. But when it comes to cats,
Yeah.
that's extremely normal. So now I'm going to ask another question, and I'm going to ask it in English and then ask it also in Creole. The next question is, have you, Mitchell, ever eaten that? I want to say I've never eaten it. My brother's never eaten it. Mitchell is going to tell you the honest truth here.
Now, be clear. These are all Haitians. Okay, these are all Haitians. My man right here that's speaking and his brother, they've been in the U.S. for a while. I think his brother been in the U.S. since he's been real small. My man that's speaking came here when he was 15. And the young man right here in the center just got here from Haiti. But they're all family members. You got brothers and the cousin right there in the center. Just so we're clear about what's happening.
So, Mitchell, the question now is, est-ce qu'on pas jamais manger chat dans la boue?
Oh, manger chat, manger. Comme manger chat. Même du chat là, pour son viande naturelle lié, même gens, ou aller au marché, ou dit, vend nous poule. Ils vendent chat pour ça, ici. Mais comme son manger naturel lié, chat là, bon, m'kon gen chat grand moi comme si m'kon prendre les plutôt mettre à nous coller le manger. Mais bien que tout gen des moun qui gen chat la caillou pas prendre parce que yo fait ba mystique avec manger l'autre mourir.
Oh, wait. Ooh, that's a mouthful. All right, so Mitchell answers is this. Of course, it's 100% normal. I've eaten chat many times in Haiti. It's like I said, just going. Ahmed is being honest. He's being raw. He's being honest. This is not a judgment zone. We just want to be honest. We are all Haitians. I've never eaten it. My brother's never eaten it. He says, yeah, I've eaten cats before. This is a very common thing in Haiti. Just like going to a store and you buy chicken wings. It's actually a normal thing. You can buy turkey and stuff like that. It's the same thing. There are parts in Haiti where you can get that. So he says there's been cats in the neighborhoods that we say we're going to eat it, right? And we just catch the cat and did what we needed to do and cook the cat, and we had ourselves some cats.
There we go. There we have it. I mean, that right there, I know this is just three guys. It could be considered an anecdote.
No, let me go back to the way he said that is like so nonchalant. Yeah, we saw a cat in the neighborhood and we just said, oh, we're going to eat that cat. And then we caught the cat and we just ate it. And then we had dinner.
Before. This is a very common thing in Haiti. Just like going to a store and you buy chicken wings. It's actually a normal thing. You can buy turkey and stuff like that. It's the same thing. There are parts in Haiti where you can get that. So he says there's been cats in the neighborhoods that we say we're going to eat it, right? And we just catch the cat and did what we needed to do and cook the cat, and we had ourselves some cats.
There we go. There we have it. I mean,
we just had ourselves some cats. We saw cats in the neighborhood, and we just have ourselves some cats. What more can you say about that? You can't say anything more than that. We shout out to Anthony Bryan Logan for covering this story. But so Donald Trump and the people in Ohio, Springfield, Ohio, the citizens, they're not going crazy. They're not. They're not going crazy. We're dispelling rumors. The mainstream media don't really want you to hear what people are going through because of these open border policies. And it's unfortunate that they want to gaslight you to say, oh, you're being racist. You're saying that because they're Haitian. No, we're just saying that because they're not accustomed to American ways. And, the video, this is not a doctor video. They're speaking French. And this guy is clearly he's Haitian. He's translating for us. That they're saying that he's confirming the quote unquote rumors. I don't know why they will be rumors because you have people in the city council in Springfield, Ohio, saying that, yeah, they're eating cats. Okay. So what more can you say about that? Now, I wanted to get to this lady, what I was telling you about. She was an immigrant and she came over here a long time ago, her and her family. And she is warning us to not vote for Kamala Harris because of her immigration policies. She is an immigrant, you guys. And she's warning us not to vote for Kamala Harris because of her immigration policies.
And I'll tell you why. Okay, first and foremost, the immigration issue is a serious issue. And you know why?
You guys put in the chat, let me know you could hear this video.
Not because I hate immigrants. I'm an immigrant. Not because, you know, it's terrible that people from South America and from all over the world cannot enter. No. Because if you have so many illegals, non-vetted people enter, you're going to notice it everywhere in the crime rate, lack of customer service. You have people coming from God knows where in the world who have never seen a toilet, let alone the standard of living in America. Then, secondly, you have people who have suffered because of some actions that America took in the world that hate America. Hate. All those same people that, you know, are gay and want liberty, and Kamala is for liberty. The same Kamala is going to let people in that if you're gay want to kill you, want to unalive you. Stupid TikTok, I cannot even say what I want. It's very, very serious. You have people that come from war zones. You have people from... The reason why vetting is so important, I'll tell you why. It's not only important for us who are living here, it's also important for people coming. This is why. I can tell you the experience I went through. We came from Europe. In order to enter United States through Catholic Charities, we went through an 8-month vetting process. Health was examined of the whole family, crime history of the whole family, criminal history, credit history of the whole family. We were given ESL classes, English second language, for a length of time. Now, why was this good for us as well? It's because when we were done with all that and we passed, you know, you had to have a university degree, all that. American government put us on a fast track to citizenship. Not only that, but paid for us to fly here from Europe, the whole family, and paid for our housing for 3 months, food and housing, until we got on our feet. So this whole process we went through was beneficial to us as a family and to the American government. Now, imagine you come as an illegal. It's not easy on you. You have to hide, you have to maybe work.
And she's right. It's good for her people because they want to come over here, but also good for the American government because now you could work legally and now they could tax you. So that's why, number one, the government should be vetting people and letting people over here legally. But then ultimately, it's good for, I guess, to collect taxes. Even though I'm totally against paying taxes, I would prefer to keep our taxes low. But you don't have people leaning or depending on the system.
Undocumented for minimum wage, always be in fear. If you have kids, you know, it's terrible. And the solution is not, oh, governments failed all around the world, let's come to America, let's let them all in. It's impossible. In order for a system to work, it has to be regulated. Every other country in the world is regulated. Can you go to any country and show up without a passport to, you know, like Border Patrol and say, hey, just let me in, you know? You can't, to no country. Try any country. Why ours then? And if people don't wake up now, if Kamala, God forbid, gets into the White House, it's going to be a continuation of destruction of the United States, like these last 4 years. I mean, you see in videos that somebody's talking to her through her things. You see her covering her mouth saying, I'm live now. What else do you need to see? It's clearly they're trying to pull wool over our eyes, and she is being taught, she's being directed by someone, probably Obama, I don't know. According to everything we've seen, Obama probably. Why? China is rising up. I told you also, in the meantime, my videos have been taken down. Told you that when I went to Trump rallies, there was people from China there trying to warn us. The Chinese Communist Party is trying to buy up our politicians, and that it's trying to destroy America completely without bombs, very smartly through politics and economic, through division. no matter if you end up voting for Kamala or for Trump, for God's sakes, stay united. But think about what I said. Think a little bit, because right now you're spoiled. Here in America, we're spoiled to no end. Yeah, I can talk to my opinion, I can say my opinion, I can do this, I can do that. Try saying your opinion in Dubai or some other Arabic country. Try saying your opinion. Try saying your opinion when you have a dictator somewhere in South America. Try that. And then you'll see how spoiled we are here. And this is exactly what this one world government doesn't want, and that's exactly where we're a target. So don't be fooled. Think a little bit, because unless you've traveled, unless you've not only just traveled, lived, because I've traveled extensively and lived also in countries. Sometimes when I moved to a country, honestly, I couldn't see what it was until 3 months of living there. So take this very seriously. America currently has a lot of opportunities, very spoiled, but we're going down that drain if Kamala gets elected.
And you know, she's right. I think if we don't take heed to other people that lived in different places, we are going to get or screw ourselves into voting a person that we're not going to be able to reverse the decisions that the particular presidential or president made during their candidacy or during their term. Okay. You remember she mentioned that Kamala Harris was talking on the mic to somebody during a meeting. This was during a FEMA meeting. She was on this Zoom conference call, and this was shown on C-SPAN, and it's saying that Kamala can't for herself. Kamala is telling an aide who's feeding her questions that it's a live broadcast. She then asked the question she was given.
In those communities, so quite a while for that water to drain.
Thank you very much.
It could flood. We really got to watch those areas and those communities. So it takes quite a while for that water to drain.
Thank you very much.
Hey, Ken, I have a question for you. You mentioned words matter, and I know there is a lot of media following this briefing.
It flood.
So you heard that. She said, I'm in a live broadcast. Can you just imagine having somebody in your ear feeding you questions every time you're out 24/7? Feeding you questions, feeding you answers, literally telling you what to do every time you're out or every time you're in a meeting. Can you imagine that? We know Kamala Harris is a puppet. We could just make that assumption. Kamala Harris is a puppet because she is not smart enough to orchestrate her own campaign or to actually win the primaries or get elected. She's a puppet. The lady that I was playing before, she mentioned that Obama is feeding her answers and questions. I'm not for sure about Obama, but can you imagine just being in the FEMA meeting, not knowing, hey, where is my notes? This is what I would think. Brief me on, I had this FEMA interview or FEMA, what is it called? FEMA meeting. I need to give me the briefing. What should I know or shouldn't I not know about what's going on in the Carolinas and Florida? We're not expecting you to know everything, Kamala, but you should be able to think on your toes, and you should be able to answer questions, intelligent questions. You're trying to be the woman or the highest office in the land. And you can't do that. You have to have an earpiece to direct you through life. That's just, you're like a robot or a Manchurian candidate. I used to call Obama a Manchurian candidate, but I really think Kamala Harris is the Manchurian candidate. I'm going to play it again.
Flood. We really got to watch those areas and those communities. So it takes quite a while for that water to drain.
Thank you very much.
Hey, Ken, I have a question for you. You mentioned words matter, and I know there's a lot of media following this briefing.
Flood.
I don't know what she was about to ask about words matter or whatever, but sounds stupid. Okay. You guys put it in the chat. Let me know what you think. Okay. We have other foreign people that's came over here as immigrants that's warning us. You better vote Donald Trump or you're going to end up like us. You're totally going to end up like us. I had another, this was a boxer, a Brazilian, I think it was from Brazil, a fighter saying, it says a fighter from Brazil takes the time during the victory speech to warn the U.S. citizens to vote Trump unless they want the United States to look like Venezuela and Brazil. These are other people that's, they're not even from my country. They're warning us.
Okay, look, I don't want to talk about names. I don't like to talk about politics, but I would just say one thing. Now, Venezuela and my country, Brazil, is on the bad situation because the government is fucking left. And if you guys want the USA, don't be there, stay right. It's Trump! 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 For God! Okay, look, I don't want to talk about names. I don't like to talk about politics, but I would just say one thing. Now, Venezuela and my country, Brazil, is on the bad situation because the government is fucking left. And if you guys want the USA, don't be there, stay right. It's Trump! 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 For God!
So he's saying Trump, and he ain't even from here. He's warning us. Just like the young lady said before, the immigrant that was vetted before she gained citizenship. Yeah, don't vote for Kamala. You better vote Trump. We think we have it bad because we ain't been nowhere. But if we look at other countries, we're spoiled little brats. That's basically what she said. We're spoiled little brats. So we better wake up, people. Kamala Harris will turn our country to like a Venezuela, a Brazil, other countries that don't have freedom of speech. We already know Kamala Harris don't like free speech out here. She is already trying to have a mandatory buyback of your guns. She's anti-constitutional. The First and Second Amendment. We know that. So, since we know those two things, hands down, we shouldn't be voting for Kamala. Unless you don't want free speech. You want somebody to tell you what to say, how to say it, and when to say it. On the internet, what type of pictures to post on the internet. You want that kind of government? Okay, vote Kamala. I'm going to get mad at you, but I think it's not very intelligent. You want to vote on feelings? Okay, vote for Kamala, I guess. But, your feelings are going to be hurt because feelings don't pay the gas bill. Feelings don't pay the mortgage. Feelings don't keep your job. Okay? That's all I got to say about that. You guys put in the chat. Let me know what you think. Okay? We're going tomorrow. Tomorrow we're going to talk about Venezuela in Colorado. I have some more information about Aurora, Colorado. They tried to say, the mainstream media trying to say it was a lie. But now we have videotape of a man getting beat down by these Venezuelan gangs that took over this complex. Everybody ain't lying, you guys. Okay? So you guys stay tuned. See you tomorrow. I'm sending all my good to you. I will talk to you tomorrow.